Fashawn. Hey, you know, the month is almost over. Time is moving fast. How many days before Christmas? All right, court is calling 2023 CR 3540, State of Texas versus Aaron Marie LaFontaine. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Zach Dunn for the state. Orlando Castino for defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's 10:04 a.m. The defendant has been a no-show. She has not been in court. Deputy Laura, was an announcement made for Aaron LaFontaine?
Yes, Your Honor, and she is not in the hall.
All right, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
what are you requesting?
A bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right,
Judge, we'd be asking for time to locate her.
all right. Well, I will tell you, based upon what's in the docketing sheet, Judge Harrell noted that she was a no-show.
She was a no-show previously.
Yes, so that will be denied. I'm going to issue a bond forfeiture and remand your client without bond.
Yes, Judge, may I be excused?
Yes. Court is calling 2023 CR 0469, State of Texas versus Timothy Ryan Hernandez. Please come forward. And this is Criminal Trial Division. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Fully office marshal for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Hernandez? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, and I have signed the discovery acknowledgement.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Off the record for a moment. Excuse me. Do not talk to inmates in the box. Do you understand? No, you were nodding your head to people in the box.
I'm talking to myself, sorry, I wasn't looking.
Can you correct that? Thank you. Deputies don't like when you talk to people in the box for security reasons. All right, we're back on the record. I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you counsel and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did understand.
According to the plea, there's $1,000 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration grand jury number 790694. There's to be restitution payable to in grand jury number 790694. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
That's correct.
State.
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, no contact with. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
We have no objections.
All right, state, you may be excused. Showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, Your Honor, we would like the court to, having considered the application for deferred adjudication, to grant that application for deferred adjudication. I believe that Mr. Hernandez is motivated to comply with the conditions of his probation, and I hope to believe that he will successfully complete the probationary period. And so we're asking that the court would accept the plea bargain that we entered into with the state.
All right. How old are you?
18.
Are you in school or have you graduated?
Neither.
Excuse me, Mr. Bartholomew. Hi, you all need to move to that end.
Sorry, Judge.
right.
I can wait.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Diane.
My apologies.
So, did you graduate from school or are you in school?
None of them.
So,
I didn't graduate.
why not?
I had a kid.
You have a child?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the age of your child?
A year and 4 months.
Why do you think not getting an education is somehow helping your 1-year-old?
I was thinking of doing GED, but I really don't got nothing.
But the taking a vehicle
Right.
got in the way of that?
That was before my daughter was born.
So are you employed?
No, ma'am. I have an interview on Friday, though.
All right, so you're not employed. You say you dropped out of school because you had a child, but none of your actions
Right.
are doing anything to better your child. So does your child live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And who else?
The mother of my child.
Hmm?
The mother of my child.
All right, and are you all living by yourselves?
Yes, ma'am.
So how are you paying for rent?
Yeah, well, I mow lawns around the area. I have normal like customers, and plus I help.
All right, you're mumbling. I can't hear you, and I know the court reporter is having a time.
I mow lawns around the area. I have like normal customers, and I help around with my mom's friend.
Everyone whisper.
And I help around with my mom's friend doing demolition and junk removal and stuff like that.
Okay. And if you're drug tested today and know you're going to get tested today, what are the results going to be?
Be honest. Like, I'm gonna be positive, yes.
For what?
Marijuana.
All right, you have a 1-year-old. Why are you smoking marijuana?
Honestly, I can't even tell you.
So, and is the mother smoking marijuana?
No, no, ma'am.
So here's the problem. 1-year-olds, their immune system is almost non-existent.
Right.
And they're trying to build up their immunity. They're taking in everything that's happening around them. They soak up things like a sponge. Everything that you do, they see, they want to repeat it because they love you and they think that's the way things are supposed to be. You using marijuana means your clothes smell like marijuana, which means the baby is inhaling marijuana. Do you think it's okay for a 1-year-old to smoke marijuana?
No, ma'am.
When you smoke marijuana, it's like the 1-year-old is smoking marijuana. Do you understand?
I do.
You're going to have to set an example for your 1-year-old. Is this a girl or a boy?
Girl.
Right. You got to set an example for her. You know why? Because usually when daughters seek to get married or whatever, they're looking for somebody who's just like their parent. And where you are in the state in your life, if your daughter were of age, would you want her bringing somebody like you home?
No.
So you need to change your ways. You need to get your GED or either go to somebody's trade school or technical school to better yourself, because mowing lawns,
Yeah.
it can only get you so much money unless you're doing great work and you're going to take over the entire neighborhood. If you're taking over the entire neighborhood of mowing lawns, that can be a good living. All right.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything successfully, then the court will consider letting you off early. Your attorney will tell you about that.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a $1,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration grand jury number 790694. There's to be restitution, if any, to and cause number grand jury, number 790694. 150 hours of community service restitution. Probation in exchange for the 150 hours community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. And he is either going to complete his GED or enroll in some sort of trade school so you can better yourself. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In my understanding, there's a shortage of welders. And I think welders make a lot of money. And you know who else make a lot of money? Plumbers.
Yeah, my sister wills.
There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. We're going to do regular UAs and let's test him for levels. Your levels of marijuana use had better start going down. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be no contact with Brandon Flores, Juan Antonio Mata. All right, probation. Let's do field visits. 1 time per month for 3 months. And if everything is fine, probation, you can do field visits as you deem appropriate. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
As far as proof of employment or.
Thank you. We'll do proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
And Your Honor, did I understand you correctly? In lieu of the 150 hours of community service restitution, if he does parenting classes and gets his GET or enrolls in trade school,
The 150 hours will be satisfied.
thank you. You understand?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else, probation? All right, they want you to do CATS 1 and 2. I'm going to give you my CATS program right now, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. Do not take what does not belong to you. Do not steal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a side note to the class that I give, if somebody ever invites you to a location and asks you to leave, leave. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if somebody wants to sell you a car and that car is being sold to you 4 times less its value, that means that there's something wrong with that car. If you get into a car that somebody has sold to you and the ignition interlock is damaged, that means that there's something going on with that vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else that you need from this court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do in your life, there are 3 things you need to think of. 1, you need to think of how it's going to impact your child, right?
Right.
2, if it's something that could potentially result in you going to the state jail facility and getting revoked for 2 years, you need not do it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Just don't do it,
Right.
because 2 years out of a child's life is a long time.
Please.
All right, good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, so much. Maybe be excused.
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe go sit over there.
Who is on Alberto Jose Zuniga? And probation, this is an application. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2023 CR. Just 1 second. Deputy Laura, can you just move Ed Bartolome and his client down to that end? No problem. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 7894, State of Texas versus Alberto Zuniga. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Robert Brobach for Zuniga.
And are you Mr. Zuniga?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Zuniga, Mr. Zuniga, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's to be a $500 fine and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of repeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No motion, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is asking for 2 years deferred adjudication. They're asking for a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand that those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
You may be excused. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I think he has a job. He's employed. I think he'll do well. He'll follow your rules.
All right, how old are you?
22.
How far did you go in school?
Dropped out of 9th grade, so 14 years old.
All right, why did you drop out?
I couldn't really concentrate. I have a problem with learning. Was one of my disabilities. So I couldn't really concentrate in school enough. So I did my own option and dropped out myself.
All right, so what do you do?
Right now I'm a landscaper, been doing landscaping for 4 to 5 years already. And that's all I really do. I just cut all the Circle K's around San Antonio and all the other little towns nearby. So that's my job.
All right, so you're enjoying that? That's what you want to do?
Nah, I'm really not. I'm trying to look for other jobs right now.
So you know it's hard to get another job when you only have a 9th grade education.
Yes, I understand that.
Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
All right, so let's get to the point. I don't understand why people drive in vehicles smoking marijuana in Texas. Everybody, it's illegal in Texas. I know what other states are doing, but in Texas, it's illegal. And so when you're smoking marijuana in a car, an officer is going to pull you over.
Yes,
And then whatever happens beyond that is on you. So you were smoking marijuana in a car and you had magic mushrooms,
yes. Yes, I know it sounds ridiculous.
landscaping, mushrooms, marijuana.
Yes, it doesn't look too good on me. I understand that.
And I will tell you, mushrooms, you never know what's going to happen.
Yes,
I'm not speaking from experience, but it's just what I've read.
totally understand, Your Honor.
Yeah. So if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative. I mean positive. I'm sorry. Positive. Yeah.
Positive for what?
Marijuana. That's it.
All right. You can't use any type of drugs in this court. You understand?
Yes.
Those are the rules. That's the law in Texas. no marijuana use. And the other law that's in Texas, when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. So this, I've had a hard day at work. It's hot outside. I'm going to come home and just relax and drink a beer. You're not allowed to do that while you're on probation. Those are the rules. It's the law in Texas. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $500 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. We can do a TAP evaluation. How long have you been smoking marijuana?
Since I was 14. I haven't
Okay.
stopped since.
Hmm?
I haven't stopped since.
All right, so we're going to do a TAP evaluation. Also do a referral to felony drug court. Be sure to let felony drug court know that. And the reason why I'm considering you from felony drug court is because one, they'll be able to help you with employment. They'll be able to help you with education is that if that's where it's needed. So just be 100% honest with them about how often you've been using marijuana.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we're going to do a TAP evaluation, referral to felony drug court, and you can do the referral to felony drug court first. Proof of employment within 45 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. We're going to do 90 sober meetings in 90 days. 100 hours of community service restitution. If he obtains his GED or is in some type of trade school, I'll have the 100 hours satisfied. Field visits, 1 time per month. And that's until he is in felony drug court or a treatment program. And if felony drug court doesn't accept him, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment, even though they're probably going to recommend inpatient. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. I know it's hard to change your life when you're used to doing certain things. But again, this is Texas. You can't be using marijuana every day. And I know it's going to be hard for you probably to quit, but you're going to have to do it. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Norma, if you'll tell Eric to walk to Zoom back in, we'll put him on. I don't think his client showed. Court is calling 2023 CR 7683, State of Texas versus Jose Sanchez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
From Mr. Sanchez.
Are you Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes,
Do you understand you're charged with the offense of burglary of a habitation by force? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is and he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, no contact with or his address, drug court evaluation in CATs 1 and 2. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers states exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've gone over the plea agreement with the defendant, Mr. Sanchez. The condition that the state is asking for, we're asking the court to follow the recommendation.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, what drugs are you using? What's your drug of choice?
Methamphetamine.
How often have you been using?
When I was out, I was actually maybe like every 2-3 weeks.
It's not every 2-3 weeks if you're going into somebody's home with not their permission.
It is every 2-3 weeks. The use of methamphetamine before entering Bear County jail or detention center was every 2 to 3 weeks. It wasn't every day or every week. It was almost every 2.
All right, everyone, please whisper. You need to speak up. So do you have any family supporting you?
At this time I do, but they are not present and they're probably busy with their lives right now. So
Have they cut you off because of
No.
drug use?
no, the reason why there hasn't been any family communication is because the last time I was in the detention center, communication with family caused a lot of, because of my doing, a lot of family problems to where.
What were you in detention for last time?
The last time was because of drug use. It was possession less than a gram. And the way information gets traveled around the
Mhm.
detention center is a dangerous way of living. So because of this, the communication with family I cut off because I didn't want to further danger to family when speaking to family.
Okay, so we're gonna have to unpack that suitcase. I'm gonna let the deputies tell me what's going on. He said communicating with family
No,
at the jail is dangerous.
That's something within inside the pods. Inside the pods, communication with family is dangerous because there are 128 eyes watching you. 128 eyes watching an individual, so then 126 eyes watching you.
All right,
So then if you make a phone call, there are at least 4 ears listening to your conversation. Those 4 ears are then communicating across the room.
okay.
When I walk in there today and have this paper by the end of the dinner time thing,
Everyone will know.
most people will know.
Okay, so people gossip at the jail.
But
All
yes,
right. So here's my question. Do you have any children?
I do not.
How far did you go in school?
In school,
Yes.
I have one degree in college, but that was just because
All right, how did you start using meth?
I visited a family member and asked for cocaine and they gave me meth.
Okay.
And the methamphetamine then like encouraged me, not encouraged me, but the energy that the methamphetamine gave me through my metabolism.
Okay.
Urged me to do something.
Have you been
because,
employed?
I work for myself,
Doing what?
odd jobs here and there.
All right, so you're gonna have to stop doing odd jobs while you're on probation here,
Yes, ma'am.
because how old are you?
I am 30 years of age.
All right, it's time for you to stop doing odd jobs. You're gonna have to get a steady paycheck. You understand?
I do have a question.
Yes.
So then the form, I don't remember the form, but if a person does 10 odd jobs and has those 10 odd jobs with what they did, the money they made, the money it cost.
We're not doing that. What I'm telling you is you're gonna get a job. You're not doing odd jobs. You're gonna get you a job that gives you a W-2 form. You understand? All right.
That is understandable.
All right. So we're gonna do 4 years deferred adjudication, $500 fine, probated, a referral to felony drug court, and that's gonna take place while in custody. TAP evaluation. There's no gang affiliation with you, is there?
No, ma'am.
All right, so felony drug court should accept you. Felony drug court is a good program. We're gonna do 150 hours of community service restitution. There's to be no contact with or the address. Regular reporting, random regular UAs, proof of employment within 30 days of release.
Yes.
There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors until further notice. And I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until he's accepted in felony drug court or has 2 months of treatment if he's not accepted in felony drug court. And that's 2 months of drug treatment. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Judge, would you like the TAP to be done in custody as well, or?
Yes, and what will end up happening, if you'll do the referral to felony drug court first, usually they're able to do all of that fairly quickly.
Okay.
So they'll probably have that done no later than next week with felony drug court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else he needs?
Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
I was gonna see if I can get a copy of the paperwork so that they can have it.
Yes, they'll make sure you have a copy.
And judge is gonna be retained in custody until the drug testing and everything's done.
Until the TAP, until the felony drug court evaluation. They'll probably have that done by next week. And if they may be able to get it in this week, but most definitely by next week. And it'll be at the beginning of next week. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. But to confirm that that's the completion of the appeal agreement or the agreement that was just made, right? And
Yes,
I would have
so
to, dedicate to all that was said.
yes.
Okay.
And they will give you a copy of that, so you'll have it. So you're not going to be off into the world trying to, oh, I don't remember what were the conditions. They will make sure you have that in writing.
That is perfect.
And I will tell you, in this court, communication is key. If there is some issue, let probation know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court and speak with me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Have the excuse.
Yes.
Thank you.